Hi, everybody. It's John Hastings. I'm wearing a different shirt. Jessica Solomon, still rocking the lawyer blazer. Now, what that means, it's time to ask a lawyer. Let's do it. Let's do it. Ask questions of a lawyer. We teased on our last show that we were going to find out about the bar exam. What exactly is the bar exam? And why is it called the bar exam? Go.
Well, each province has its own bar exam. In the U.S., every state has its own bar exam.
Good times.
I am from Quebec, but I did my bar exam in Ontario because I chickened out and didn't want to do it in French, and it's a little easier in Ontario. The bar exam controls how many lawyers, sort of depending on how hard they make it, that's how they sort of control the number of lawyers that become lawyers.
If you get 1 year, it could be like, draw a picture of a house and tell us how to sue someone for the faulty bricklaying work. And another one could be like, referencing Scoops versus Johnson regarding the butterfly trials of the 1920s. How would you react to the court's decision to make it legal on Wednesdays to not eat oranges in a bathtub? Like, they're saying that the questions can be that much skewed on a bar exam?
I don't know. That's what I've understood, that some years are a little bit more difficult than others, and I think the explanation, not to that extent, but New York, for example, notoriously has a very difficult bar exam.
Because everyone is a lawyer in New York, basically.
Pretty much, yes. And also, I think because it's an open bar exam, so I don't even think you have to go to law, which means open bar means that you, well...
Sounds like my kind of exam, eh, guys? Get me some jurisdiction, Scotch rocks, no ice. You know what I mean? It's exactly. An open bar exam.
It's an open bar, which means basically that you don't have to go to law school. You can just write the bar exam. I could be wrong about that again.
I really hope you're wrong about that,
because is why they have to make it really hard.
Imagine the worst people, and like just one guy who's just an idiot savant and figures out how to do it, and like he's a lawyer.
The shingle.
Yeah, and he's just like, guess what? I know enough about tort reform that I have passed the bar in New York. Did you go to law school? No, I went to community college in Rentbag, New Jersey. Now I'm gonna go back to my parents' basement and start being an ambulance chaser. Can I sue my parents for having me? Can I sue my parents for having me? Jessica Solomon, you're a lawyer. Answer the question.
No, you can't. You can't do that. But I like the question, though.
How do I get a prenup without my fiancé knowing about it?
Ultimately, she has to know about it.
But do you think that there should be like a built-in thing now in the marriage contract that's sort of on the back? Like, you're like, do you take this person? Yes, I do. And in the event of a divorce, will you leave him with nothing? Some stuff, just the couch. Does he get to keep the dog? Do you think that that would be a good idea?
I think the more normalized it is, the easier it makes it, obviously, for the person that wants the prenup.
Have you ever been held in contempt of court?
I haven't, but at the tribunal where I did work, the woman who worked as the spokeswoman for the chief prosecutor for a couple of years was called before the court in contempt because she published a book, and in the book she included some information from confidential decisions of the appeals chamber, and so she got hauled before the War Crimes Tribunal on contempt charges, and I think it's going on appeal. Right now it's at trial, and they basically fined her like €7,000. But weird to be like a former employee of a War Crimes Tribunal, and you know, in her case, I think it was probably deserved, but...
I didn't think there was an appeals process, because I remember reading about one of the heads of the Black Panthers is still in jail for contempt of court because they brought him in front of the court, and like they were like, are you like, do you plead guilty or not guilty? And he was like, F you, judge. And he was like, 3 days contempt of court. And they brought him back after 3 days, and he said it again, and they're like, 1 week contempt of court. And he did that like 5 times, and they're like, 10 years contempt of court. Bam.
It's like the Breakfast Club, like, you want another detention?
He is the Judd Nelson.
Yeah, exactly.
Of the legal system.